It'll probably frighten people, but it's okay. It's life.
You okay?
Everything's on. We're hot.
We're hot.
Whatever. Let him be Mike.
We're hot.
That's Mike.
All right,
Mike's with
be
Dom.
Mike.
All right, yeah, we're gonna be Michael. Can't
What's up, Mike?
Michael? We can't be Mike anymore. We beat Mike. That's the way we see it. This right here. Yeah, we're beating Mike B right now. That's what we're doing. This is the admission of the submission of Mike B and how he was submitted and how God won and how he will forever and always look over, look after, and love his children from above. And it's all done through Christ. So this will be the mission statement of how someone's life's transformed, turned around, put into perspective with purpose. By accountability. So we'll kick it off with Amanda.
So gaining clarity on your life and holding yourself accountable.
Always. It's something that you have to do to grow. Everything has to be accountable for what it is that you do. No one's to be blamed. And, it's not even to be ashamed. It's to understand that nothing's done without knowing. You never know what you're going to do. You never know where you're going to go. You're just going to do it. Once it's done, now you have reaction. The action's done. You've done what you've done. And you see what's reaped and what you reap from it. And it takes time. It's life. Generations haven't lied. Our parents, we can look back at ancestral and look back at history. And I've learned from everybody.
So you talk about history.
Mm-hmm.
And coming to this point and doing what you're doing. Why are you doing this?
For everyone. There's understanding, general understanding to where I think we've spoken before, where fact and opinion meet. And they collide, actually. A lot of turmoil. You have a lot of opposition when fact and opinion meet. But a fact is a fact. It's something that can't be changed. It's something that's been before, as if yesterday was. Yesterday was. We can't change yesterday, so yesterday was. That then makes yesterday a fact. It makes Wednesday happened. Today's Thursday, correct?
Yes.
Gotcha. So we're over the hump. We're not thirsty. We're hungry. So for us, we're really here to give people the bread, the butter, the meat, the potatoes, and the things in life that are going to help you grow, the things that are going to help you prosper. It starts with God.
I agree.
I hope so. If you don't, though, and that's the thing, and that's the whole thing with this. Those that don't agree, science, anyone that wouldn't agree with there's God, anyone that wouldn't agree that there's Jesus, anyone that wouldn't agree that there was Moses, anyone that wouldn't agree that there was Adam, anyone that wouldn't agree that there was Mary, there was Joseph, anyone that wouldn't agree that the past was the past, the history was history. It's his story. You can't spell it without it. It's like saying...
Why do you think so many people try so hard to disprove God than just to accept him?
And it's a great question. I think that's a question I've asked myself, even in my wrongs, in my past, in my history. It's like, how did you deny that? How did you even conform your lips to tell that lie? How did you come up with that? And how did you concoct that figure of there's not, or it's not going to happen to you? Or even the fact of there's no reaction. There's no retribution. There's no karma. There's no anything upon what you do. Ramification. Like you, Amanda.
I want to go on that too because,
And I guess I didn't answer the
sickness.
question,
When we
but
talk
it's...
about sickness and disease, people's like, okay, there's this epidemic of this flu outbreak. Oh, it can't happen to me. Oh, wait, it's in the next city away. It's moving closer to my hometown. Oh, my goodness, my neighbor has it. Oh, my gosh, I'm going to quarantine my family so everybody stays well until the point where somebody starts sneezing, somebody gets a cold.
And it's in tragedy.
It's right. It's the sickness of just believing it couldn't happen to you. But then when you're confronted to hold yourself, your lies, your demons accountable, that's when...
Maybe. I'm not picking you up, so we gotta let him talk.
Okay.
So ask him open-ended questions.
Okay, because I'm just kind of going on.
Got you.
Yeah, no, that was perfect.
Oh, no, that was
But
fine.
then end it with a question so he can start flowing. I'm sorry.
Got you. Yeah, and that's right. Perfect. And no, we're learning, and you're right. And the thing is, well, yeah. Go ahead.
So about disproving, you mentioned disproving God. Okay.
Okay.
That. Now, also too, with disproving God, you say, I'm not ready to check out. And what do you mean by that?
Check out, leave. I'm not done.
Because you went against God before.
I battled. I fought hard. I fought valiant. Effortless, actually, to where it goes to show in life that life is scripted. Life is something that you go with movement, you go with flow. You do what you feel. It's something that it's your feelings. It's not your emotions. It's your feeling. It's your instinct. It's your gut. It's your sense. It's everything that's in you. You live life. And you don't know you're contesting God. You don't know you're going against God. You don't know what you're doing. You just know you're surviving. You just know you don't want to die yet. You feel like tomorrow's got something more promising than today is. So you fight into tomorrow. Did I pray then for tomorrow? No. Did tomorrow come? Yes. Did tomorrow continuously come? Yes. You know, my days didn't stop because I didn't pray, but then nor did anybody else's. It doesn't mean to say that if you don't pray, tomorrow's not there. Tomorrow's not promised. It just maybe not be promised for you. You know, it might be your day. That might be the day you tripped over a Jehovah's Witness. It might be the day that you passed a man on the highway. It might be the day that you clipped someone and didn't apologize. It might be the day that you smacked a man at a gas station. It might be the day that you quit your job. It might be the day that you kicked your kid. And then that you might not wake up that next day. He might have had enough. He might have said, you know what, you're not listening at all. And that's what happened to me. And that's where Michael can explain how we all fall. Michael fell, you know, and I fell hard. But it was due to, I would say, the persona of society of what I thought I had to be. I had to be something big. I had to be something important. I had to prove myself. The fact that a felon isn't a guy that fell, slipped, and can never get up. This is a guy not to be trusted. This is a guy not to be loved. This is a guy to be shunned. But the child molester's accepted. And it's where I failed to understand, actually, myself, that everybody's going to do something wrong. Everybody. Nobody's perfect. Not here. Not on earth. You know, only Jesus is the one that's going to walk through here perfect, to be honest. And, you know, and that's when that time comes. You know, and that time, I believe right now, it's not now. You know, this isn't the time of everyone's either yes or no. Because if that was the case, we'd see more than a third of this earth check out. You know, we've not just America. America would be the pit of it. You'd see a big bomb, and it'd be done and be wiped out. It's because it's just so free. But this is the free land. This is what it's here for. This is like a big test capsule. What would happen if you let man just run wild? What would happen if you just made them conform a little bit?
Anarchy.
Completely. I mean, anytime there comes to control. So when people want to contest to say that there isn't and to disprove that there is not a God, when there's so much saying that there is. History is proven what it said. Me personally, I can only go off feeling. I can only go off the word that's given and all that it is that my knees tell me. Because I use my knees. They walk for me. You know.
So you obviously believe in a master plan.
Oh, and the master, and he has it. You know, the scripters got it. You know, that's where we got to. You know, is where I would look to Greg and say we got to. Because he's a G. You know, and I look to Greg as an elder. You're an elder of mine in flesh. Probably even is in spirit. I can see the conformity. I can see the discipline. I can see the positive, the character. So your character would never look to clash with mine. Mine's looking to look to yours and say, please, if you don't mind, you know, you can be the model I would use for Adam to show an Adonis and a man that achieves for his family.
You need to mute that, not vibrate, because it's picking up the vibrations so horribly across that microphone.
We vibrate? It's okay. We like vibrate. It's only been 8 minutes.
What's up, buddy? I know.
Yeah, we know, Dylan. We're trying to do audio and video.
I said walk by, buddy.
You didn't know.
I'm home. I'm in the kitchen. I said, okay, I'm in the office. Walk by. He knows I'm here. He knows what we're doing.
Oh, that's okay.
It's fine.
He was doing good, baby. He was
Yeah.
quiet coming in the house. He just want to make sure we knew.
Yeah.
Dilly's awesome.
Yeah, let me stop this for a second.
Sure. How we doing?
All good.
Doing excellent.
How was it? Not bad. 9 minutes is short. Cool. That's why I'm trying to get as much short and quick to the point.
We're
And
just here having coffee.
yeah. For me, I'm trying to answer some of the biggest questions I can think that are. The questions are great. That's why it's like perfect. It's coming. It's this. I think this is the way it was done then because it feels like that. It's let everything be done, and we don't. It's supposed to be effortless
There's no
for us.
script
No.
To talk about what you've learned from your life.
The catch is, you know, and you saw and have heard so much of it already. That's been shared with Greg already. 4.5 orphan up through 12, finally caught back up catch with Elmore. It's the heaven hell scenario. It's the dark light. And I was told Mitchie this morning, I was like, thank you. I was like, by the way, you know.
You gotta look. You're so grateful for everything. You gotta
Very.
look back and maybe be thankful for all your struggles, because it's like
I am.
Okay, it's like the more I freaking struggle, then when I do find God, because I will,
Yeah.
it's like
Boom.
even so much greater.
The catch is,
I
I
think.
and it is when you finally know, when you finally feel it, and that's like in the bottom of your soul and in your spirit, you know it. You know, that's where it's like there's no contesting. You know,
Right.
that is when it's like, yes, thank you. You know, and that's where it's like I'm beyond humble at that point, because it's like now you know also that force will ruin you. It'll wreck you. It'll completely wash you off, write you completely off, and that is the thing that puts you in check. But it catches and it helps to have
You're fine.
You're fine.
this.
That's totally fine.
It helps to have that.
Right.
That's the balance. For me, I'm over here like this. I'm working my left back out. It's like I'm stretching back out. I can start to use it again, where it was like this. It's just as if that car would have taken my left shoulder off. They say if the eye is, cut it out if it's bad. For me, I kept testing the plan. I kept testing him, because it was like, it's either they're going to listen to us or I'm done.
Yeah.
You know, do what you will. Do what you will with them. I did everything I could. I spoke to the ones I loved. I spoke to the ones I knew. I spoke to the ones I didn't know. I spoke to the ones I didn't want to speak to. And I told them the truth. If it comes to the point where I don't find one and it's wiped, what am I going to see? You know, and that was the point. And that was the whole point of the car wreck. It was like, you want to speak to your sponsor when I'm sponsored. Are you serious? It was that kind of redundancy for me. Doors like, but if I had the store still open, you'd be asking for credit. I'm here giving him credit, and now you're saying forget it, dead it, and I was ready to go. That's where I said I was ready to check. I was ready. I'm out, because this is telling me now that they want it with you. Give it to them, and I'll help. I'm sorry to everybody that gets it, but it won't be the ones that were good. You'll be here sitting here going, man, he said so. Like, man, wow, he was gonna, wow. And that's what everybody said then. So it's just a message. It's like, don't shoot the messenger. But that's what I feel in my body, because everybody else that was messenger got murked and popped too. Anybody looking to do goodwill, period. Because it's a chance to free people up. Catch is I'm the guy from the bottom. I want people to be freed up. I'm pushing them this way. And the system can't do anything about it, because I'm not here bashing them. Do what you will too. You're going to get caught up with too. Everybody's going to get caught up with. It's a 1-2. Like, everybody's going to get it. Just be prepared. Be armed. Like, be ready. Like, know that what you did's going to get you. You can't bury it. You can't, nothing. Lock that shit up, whatever you want to do. It's over with. So for me, I just want people to be prepared and know what you're fighting. You know, if you think you're fighting God, you're foolish. Don't. I tried it on an accident, to where I say, like, there's no mistakes. Like, mistakenly nothing. Like, I said the worst thing I could have ever said out of my mouth, and I'll admit it. And it was I was so close to the top. A taco, a Dorito flavored taco. I was so close. You know what I mean? It's like I could taste that. And in the works of a rental car, agreement, and the money not being transferred in funds, I blew up. And I threw a temper tantrum, and his name was in it. And F this, and F him, and suck this, and F this, and oh, it was bad. 100 pounds in 45 days went to show. The taco snatched away. They don't still know. I think, you know, I'm not a girl. I'm not going to be yelling real offense. I'm not going to run crying about it. You can have that. Our heart and soul is in that, though. That's the way I look at it. So you're still eating Mike B. You know, good looking out. You know, that was my piece right there. I saw it make it. That's all I've ever been about. It's like, I just want to give somebody something good. Here, go do something with it. But when out of my mouth came blasphemy, which for the first time, I've never, ever in my life said it, let alone Jesus. I ain't never said anything bad about Jesus. Why? He's so kind. You know what I mean? It's like, he's so kind. Who would say something bad about Jesus? It's like, why? It's like picking on the disabled kid at school. Like, what's wrong with you? But people still all day long. And it's like, wow. And they feel as though there's no ramifications for words.
You're like the opposite of a lot of people that sit here and blaspheme and talk down or bad against God. Where does that come from? I mean, obviously your heart and your soul, but it seems like you've got no limit. It's not like I see you on Facebook just flowing, and I'm like, okay, he's gonna
it just stop.
Not hit the bottom, but
it doesn't stop.
Stop
it doesn't stop.
And
there's no bottom.
You,
no.
how much do you freaking have?
It doesn't stop. It runneth over. It doesn't stop. It never stops. It's all night. When I wake up in the morning, it's a fresh morning, but it's all Mike. It's all ready. It's all go.
Do you? Is there some kind of like absolute connection that you feel when you're flowing like that?
Honestly, it's a spirit. I mean, for me, you have to take all flesh away first and foremost. It's something you can't worry of. Any materialism, any materialistic, any other person, your body included. You know, you have to be selfless. And when that's weightless, that's weightless. That's your spirit then. And your spirit's saying what it's saying and it means what it says. You know, and it's not playing. You know, that's the one that's connected. You know, no one's going to know God in the flesh. Anyone, zero, zil, dot, you know, dot, you know, period, exclamation point. And that's a fact then. There's no opinion on that. Because for me, I've seen spirits. I've seen body and spirit meet. I've seen body and spirit separate. I've seen that personally, actually. So for me, I've seen people that have passed recently. When they come back, they see me. So for me, that's what makes me know that not only is the other side real, but who's in control of it. That also lets me know that. Lets me know everything's mastered, it's planned, it's scripted, it's put together, it's fine-tuned. You know, it's intricate. You know, and people is humanity and mankind. I want you to be informed with this. This is something this is your history, it's your genealogy, it's your DNA. You know, but there's a D in every A. Just like there's a light if you accept it. If not, you're just gonna picture a big lint roller or dryer sheet going through life. It's going to collect dust, dirt, particles of different things. How's that going to look at the end of your life? Like my lungs at the end of a pipe, period. I smoke cigarettes. So, full of black, dark, muck, mire actually it's called. You know, it's sludge. Hard to move through, breathe through, speak through. So, that's your soul. If you don't do anything with that, if you don't wash that, if you don't cleanse that, if you don't ask for forgiveness, because not only are you not forgiven, but you're not obviously forgiving anybody, you're going to be the old example that we've seen so many times, lonely and alone. And I've seen it. It's a repetitive situation that I want to see people get out of. That hurts me actually personally. I don't want to see a woman at 90 with 19 cats, no man behind thee, no love of anyone else but just her and herself.
Up cats, 19 cats.
It's a thing that it's just a joke, but it's something you see a lot of. Was that a cat that just meowed?
That was me.
Oh, I was gonna say I thought the cat really came.
Still, that'd be a stinky house.
And I've seen these houses.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I've seen these houses, and I'm speaking of people that I've seen. These are, you know, the things that come up. These are things that I know of. So I see these people leave this way. You know, I have a grandfather just passed away. Spent 30 years in a house, one house. Like the dust pile up was unreal. The fact of the matter is the people that left him sitting there to have that pile up was the catch of it. He was left there, you know, and when you're left somewhere, you're almost forgotten about. And come on, I see so many people now where their generations put their parents in homes and in a way, in shelters and in places. It's like, what is this? You know, this isn't free to them. They gave their lives, you know, to you, obviously. You know, they had you. You know, nobody's going to appreciate that when you leave. You know what I mean? When they leave, they're not going to be helping you. I hope you know that. You know what I mean? They're not going to like you very much. You know, and I guess, again, that's a spirit flesh thing. Everybody's got their own demons.
All right, we're going to take another break.
Yeah, please.
These cameras can only film for 10 minutes, baby.
So you're...
That's what I keep doing.
Yeah.
I hit record. I was going to tell you guys because you guys were flowing.
Oh, I didn't know either.
No,
Yeah.
that's great. That's what I
I don't
wanted.
want to hear yawning and...
No.
Yeah, no, that's why.
No.
It's all in his mic.
Okay. Mike.
Just something that
Michael.
vibrates.
Michael.
With the mic.
Yeah, it's Michael with the mic.
I'll
You
just get a
know,
different angle. Or?
I like that. We'll do that. Michael on the mic. Michael with the mic. Your feet are
It's not that kind of video.
nice feet though.
Thank you.
I'm gonna put one of my feet over there like this. Look at the feet. Look at the feet. The feet even go together. What the feet doing? Girl, what your feet doing?
What you doing with your feet?
What you doing with them there pots?
Oh man, keep going.
Them pots look like they can wash some pans. Oh shit.
Pot washing feet.
Pot ass washing feet.
Some good angles here.
Yeah, I got on a double hat. I didn't plan on that.
Tired of looking at
Warm?
terrorists.
Warm. I like the dust analogy, though.
It's the fact that when it came to it, that's what it was. It was given it was because it was weird. As I started to lose weight, like I noticed this, and it was like I kept pushing here, and it was like I can push here, and I keep pushing, and I'm still speaking, and I'm not changing tone or anything. And it's like, picture that being ripped out, and you know, and then holding it out and looking at it, and that was the vision I was shown, looking at, and it was looking at everything I did, and it's like, oh, it was the most disgusting thing, the most horrifying thing I'd ever known of. At that point, that's what I said, there's been so much reality, vividness. The picture's just been very vivid. It's been gloves off. Everything's been surreal. So for me, it hasn't been go read the Bible. It just wasn't that. It was stay in the Word, stay in the walk, stay in life, but
Recording.
No, not yet.
open your eyes, your ears.
Yeah. We'll
Your
go with
nose.
when did it start?
February 2011.
Yeah, the transformation. We'll get on that next.
Yeah, because that'll explain the 45-day.
So
Go ahead.
if it's not catching, you know, with what we're saying, just repeat our question.
It's recording.
You know, what happened? When did it start?
It's February 2011. Again, there was a comment made in the car, and it was over Joel Osteen and Elizabeth Brazil, who's one of my moms. Call her Mama Number 5. And Mama Number 5 was renting a car for us to go to New York. And we were getting ready to go to New York to present a Dorito-flavored taco called Gringos Red Bull, and then a credit card company, Preferred Merchant Services actually, to Sean Carter, Jay-Z. And we were looking to do something, some sorts of businesses and works of promotion and gathering and the meetings of minds and getting people of different areas and sizes together. And in the process, again, the rental car didn't go through the way we wanted. Funds were held up in bank account and this and that and whatever, and it turned into a big spat, a big rant. And the rant had a lot of passion in it, but not a lot of validity when it came down to it. It was just a lot of old anger, misplaced even, because it was all sent in no now disrespect and no now disgrace to God and his name nor his figure. But at that point in my life at 31, that's what it was. And that's who I felt as though I was angry at. And the comment was, fuck it. He could do it himself. And if you're not going to get me to New York to get these funds that I'm looking at making and dispersing and spending 90% of them on people that need in life all over the world, then fuck this. I don't need this stress. Because if the things that I need to be done can't be done, then I'm done. And I threw up my hands and I threw a fit. And from that moment, everything was taken away. Everything. 100 pounds of weight in 45 days. The taco, obviously, at least. And we'll call it wrath is what I saw and what my mom and everyone else that knows me to be is Mike B. or Michael Brown.
It was your own personal hate towards just saying bad things that you just starved yourself?
No, it was the fact of after the comment made that day, I still did go to New York the next day. The trip continued. We drove to New York, went through, didn't get to. We went to Buffalo Boss, didn't make it that far. Came back, we reset, and then March 13th, I took off to go to Atlanta to present the same thing to USDA in Atlanta. At that point, no, I had actually almost overlooked and overstepped the comment that was made, continued on the way to make this plan happen and become reality, again, of the plan of the Nacho, the Grey Goose Red Bull, and Target credit card company. Getting into Florida is where I noticed and started to notice a lot of doors opening, closing, opening, closing, opening, closing, which let me know I was being shown, but then I was being disciplined. Shown, being disciplined, and almost shunned, and then being disciplined to where until I was stranded in Key West, actually, for 21 days. And that was where I took the understanding, because the understanding was then I was sat down and I was spoken to. And that's where a lot of the understanding of figuratively speaking, actually, spirit and flesh meeting. And that's where a lot of occurrences of supernatural, we'll say, in that sense, happened.
Who sat you down?
I was first sat down by David, which was my first night in Key West, was the first night. And that night led from that, and then I was stranded, and I was left down there, and I'm staying with a man named Dan Sarton. And that's where I spent my 21 days. And that's a man that there was a lot of courting as far as spiritually, a lot of discussions of past life, past being, a lot of things of God, a lot of things of higher power, a lot of things of Christ, a lot of things of Satan, a lot of things of the devil, a lot of things of old stigma, mythology, fact, is it or is it not? And then the perception of what do you believe and what do you think and how do you live and how do you walk? And a lot of temptation is basically, I think the best way it was to shake faith. And it was just to say, who do you put first? And at that point still, even after the ill comment that I made about God, God was always still first. And it was never God second or God's not or our Father's not. It was just I had one day and made one or two statements in that one day that reflected to make a 3-year now mark coming. This is February of 36 months of what happens when you disrespect the captain of the ship. Like, he'll put you under it. So for me, I have a general understanding, a line of definition. That's why the flow is consistent and constant. So Key West is where I would say everything met spiritually. Paradise. How perfect, actually. It's something I couldn't script. I couldn't plan this. This is beautiful. But everything we all met.
So was it money and then acknowledgement of creating a brand to health of what you're referring to? Sit down with God yourself, knowing you have to hold yourself accountable. That's what you mean.
I guess rephrase that. Or re-explain. I didn't understand. Was that a question?
You keep referring to sit down,
Mm-hmm.
and then you bring in other players. Like
Okay.
people.
Well, as far as I'll define sat down.
Yeah.
Sat down for me was Michael stopped moving. Michael stopped working. Michael, you will now go on your walk. It was a sabbatical. I was the one that from 4.5 forward, with no family, no mom, no dad, I didn't stop. I was not going to stop working. I was not going to stop making friends. I was not going to stop networking. I was not going to stop growing. Period. Zero. I refused. You were not going to sit me down, authority or not. And that stood for any kind of a figure. Didn't matter who you were. Walking earth, you could not get me to sit down. You had to give me a purpose and a reason to sit me down, because my time was valuable. I was doing something. I was trying to progress. I was trying to see something else or someone else progress. I was working for or with someone else to progress. Me sitting down for zero, for nothing, for no reason, just to chill, didn't do it. Just didn't believe in it. It was a waste of time. I just didn't believe in wasting time. It just goes to show my spirit didn't believe in it. But once this flesh, this guy disrespected God, then yeah, he was going to be sat down. He was going to be disciplined. He was going to be shown the light, but he was also going to be shown the mire. He was going to be shown, this is the life you had with God. Your life may have been hard, but look at all the times he carried you through. Look at all those times you could have been done. Look at all those times you could have been dead. Count them. Look at all the people you could have killed, because I've got 9 on deck right now on deck, and I haven't gone into the cards and the deck of cards to look for any jokers or some guys that I might have tried even harder and really thought about, but I'm at 9. I've almost lost mine by 5, and the last one was a car wreck. So for me, in all respect, it came down to he was done playing with me. He was done toying with me. He was done me contesting even, of the Bible or of the reality of him being, and him being our supreme and higher, the fact of Christ being real. There were so many things in my life that, no, I didn't contest them. I didn't go against them. I went with the flow. I had a crucifix on my neck. I was a Puerto Rican Mexican guy, but it was just, it was a way of life where people would say, he's like, was God real? It was like, well, yeah, why isn't he?
You were
So that's
raised
when
in so many different cultures, different ways, from Arab to, you worked for many Arabs,
Plenty.
best friends.
Plenty. Family. Family even, yeah.
Cuban.
Brothers.
Puerto Rican.
Ricans, Mexicans,
Right,
Dominicans,
Mexican.
Jamaicans.
I mean, how did you stay within Christ through all that, through all the different religions? How did you get there?
Okay, and
Where did you open the book and sit down and say, okay, God, I feel you. I feel you.
I didn't.
Me. What happened?
Pause.
Cool, he can think on that.
Yeah. You can take on that.
I was about to get it. I was about to get that one too.
Yeah. 'cause
You
that's-
fill up or use
that's
the
No,
restroom
I'm
or
good.
you
I'm
okay?
good.
Good.
I was gonna get that
Welcome to
one.
him.
Oh,
Oh,
the next breakout, I have to make his bacon and stuff.
do what you gotta do, and I get a smoke, and then
You want to do it now?
I can do it now, yeah.
Take a break?
Yeah.
Stick with, where'd you get started with all that? So.
Yeah.
That's what,
Yeah.
that one's gonna be is Amanda. We're on a 36-month walk with Christ. Like before that, it was feel I don't believe. Now you're going
So
against
your beliefs, where do you get your beliefs from?
My
Because
feeling.
You've been around.
You know we're not rolling, right?
Oh.
I'm telling you that.
No, you got to come in on. You got to come back in on the moon. You got to come back in on the Christianity and the differences.
You look
Be-
at me, Mike, real quick. Thank you, sir.
That thing, man. Once I was seeing this was better, and I didn't know nothing about it. The camera, man, they behind me. But I got to get used to it. I think. I never wanted it on me. Like I was the guy that's like, no, here I'll give you guys the game, and I'll just stand back. Donovan Moon, that's all I did. I was good at it.
Okay, we're back on, and we were talking about beliefs and where your
Belief.
beliefs come from.
Mm-hmm.
Because you mentioned setting down, just now we're on moon. You family,
Mhm.
friends, worked from for years.
Mm-hmm.
Muslim, to Puerto Rican, to Buddhism.
Mm.
Where do you get your belief system from?
I mean, and I guess we'll start where, like, everybody would start would be from a child. My mother was 7 months pregnant with period of no knowledge, and then I came on the 8th month. Complicated birth, got here. Born on the east side of Toledo, 505 Potter Street. And before I was 1, a story came back, and it was a story in history for me that was a simple white and black of what had happened. My adopted mother now, Mitchie Colette, which at the time was my mother's wife. They were big believers. They were believers in God, of course, and believers in Christ. I don't know to an extent. I believe it was a Methodist of a religion that they lived. And Mitchie recounts and will not recant the spirit picking me up out of my crib and putting me on her chest and saying that I was Michael and that I was to be protected and provided for. Now, this is in 1979. So this is a story that came back to me at 12. From Mitchie. And then it was verified and re-verified by my mother, my grandmother, and a lot of other people that it was told to back then. But, time passed. I went off in orphanages and was put up for adoption and whatnot. So I didn't get caught back up with those roots of my childhood until I was 12 to 13 years old. So at that point, I wasn't a Christian follower. I wasn't a God follower, a Christ follower. I was just a life doer is where I would call myself. I lived as, if you asked me, I'd say I was a Catholic. I believe in Jesus as far as our Savior. I believed in God as our master, our creator, and the designer. I would say is something of the sorts back then is what I would have said. But I didn't go to church every week. I didn't pray every day. I didn't go against people that prayed every day. I didn't go against people that went to church all the time. I was a guy that got along with people that liked people. I was a people person. I was a guy that liked to be around good people, and I was a guy that used to help good people fight bad people. I was a guy that didn't like bullies. I was a guy that didn't like people that picked on people. I was a guy that if you had a problem, you can call me and I would handle it. That was just me as a guy. But as I got older, I got into businesses with Arabs, Muslim, Sunni, Shiite, both different types of, Saudi Arabians, Afghanis, all different sorts of religions and races. And I would say it wasn't a struggle as far as beliefs. I never put down the belief that Jesus was the Son of God. And a lot of Muslims didn't put down the belief that he isn't, as far as the Savior of man and the Savior of sin and the Son of God and all full realm of our host in heaven. Most Muslims know we don't agree on that, but we agree to disagree is where we do. We always kept respect. Jesus' name was never taken or neglected or said that he wasn't, or to say or put him down and beneath any man, or they just accepted the fact, to me at least, that he was a man and he was a prophet. For me, the proof of it all is that he's definitely more than a prophet. He's the one that actually saved me. Where Mike B is where, like we keep saying, a third party would be a past tense of a person. Mike B needed saved. Mike B shed a lot of blood. Mike B sold a lot of drugs. Mike B did a lot of things, a lot of prison time. Mike B was a bad guy, but a good guy to know was where it came down to. It wasn't a guy that did bad things for no reason. It was a guy that there was a reason for every bad thing I did. And I just took accountability and ownership for it. And where it made it to where it looked as though it wasn't as bad actually at that point, because you stood up as a man and you took the lickings, you took the discipline, you took what you had coming. So in my life, a lot of things didn't catch up with me besides the fact that karma was quick with me, very quick. I would do something in action, reaction, 24, 48 hours, I get caught, go to jail. Unless I was helping somebody, if I was really helping somebody genuinely in my heart and someone got hurt, I never got caught. And I always thought that was odd now as I got older, as now I'm in the way, now I'm in faith, now I'm in love, and it's with God. When people ask me, who are you with? It's like, well, I'm with God. I have a covenant with God, and it's to not shed blood anymore. It's to say that the war that has been fought has been fought. God won, and that's that. It's 1-1 now. So now it's where man has a choice to have heaven on earth. That's 11 to me. It's where man has a choice and free will to accept. Yeah, you have a master. Yes, you have to follow rules. Yes, you have somebody that's in control of you. But you still have free choice to not accept that and to not have him have the steering wheel in control of you. I have a whole 31 years to show what happens when you have the steering wheel. I have an example to show how many times you can wreck. I have an example to show how many times you can die and come back in all respect and all gratefulness. And it's until he's done proving his point, until he's done revealing, which is revelationist, which is apocalypse, is where they say it's the word everyone's so fearful of. But I would be as well, and I was as well. So it was a door for me, honestly, that it was opened for me personally when I fell. When I decided that I had done so much in my life. I had owned so many businesses. I had accomplished so much in my city that I finally went to my knees and said, hey, if you have a purpose for me, and you have a reason for me to be here, and you want me here for anything, then please, give me whatever it is you want to give me. Let thy will be done upon me, in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. And again, that was in March of 2011. Again, it was after the statement, and it was after all of what I had already said, but it was the fact that it came out of my mouth. And to look 3 years now later, he definitely showed me our Creator's no hater. Lover for sure. You know what I mean? And that was the keynote. I think that Jesus left with everybody was love. It overpowers and it wins over all things. It's something that it washes. It's forgiveness, as we've spoken of before. Love is something that's eternal.
It changed you.
Completely. It turned me away from what I was, but it also made me have an empathetic, more of an empathetic love for who I was and those that are like me. That's actually what it did. It turned into where my heart went completely to the hood, to where my heart was half in family, half in the hood. Or my heart was all in the hood and I had no love at home. And spent all my time at work and away from my family and in the streets, where I had a beautiful wife and a wonderful child. But you can't have two lives at the same time. That's not fair to someone else, actually. It's like the people with 5 jobs. I look at the same thing. It's like, well, I think maybe you got a lot of amenities, maybe too many amenities, maybe your bills are too high, or I work too much, because you can't get the time back. You can't trade dollars for hours. It's never worked out. That saying that you're gonna beat life and you're gonna cheat death. Jesus did that, and he didn't cheat death. He died. That's the catch of it. But the beautiful thing is he didn't snatch keys. He walked up and asked, thank you. So for me to explain to everyone, it's not only is there a new life, but he also holds the keys to death. I'd watch your mouth. I'd hold your tongues. You never know who you're walking around. I made a real crazy statement in front of a woman that believes in God and his placement. And the message went through. I say, surely, but surely was the spirit. It was her mom. She just passed away recently when the statement was made. And surely I know that message went rapid, straight through. And that let me know heaven's not hard to find. It's temple. It's all within. God's with us all.
Shirley Temple.
Shirley Temple. Oh, that's hot.
Take another pause.
That's hot, Shirley Temple.
Fast 10 minutes, dang.
Huh?
That's a fast 10 minutes, man. When you get flowing,
Really?
you get flowing, yeah.
Yeah, it was quick.
Woo, it's awesome. We can keep going. I can pause it for like 10 seconds and
Yeah.
start it up
Oh,
again.
good.
So we covered the
We're hot again. But you don't just whatever.
Shirley Temple.
Shirley Temple. Shirley, it was Shirley. Wonderful woman. Greek Orthodox was the background. Shirley and George. Great guys. Razug's the last name. It's my mama, number 5. Like I said, I come from a household of people say lesbian, women. I came from a woman background. I didn't have a dad that I knew, never met, never laid eyes on. Speculation, which also turned my races into different faces at 31 as well. Once you ask for something, you get it. It's where they say, be careful what you ask for and wish it. Me, I prayed it. So I definitely got my day, which was let me know my background. I was walking around for 31 years Puerto Rican, and I wasn't. I was black and Mexican, it comes out to be, which is a Puerto Rican, which is still funny, but it's still a whole nother something that I stood up for throughout my years. And I held that in all my boys, all my homies, all my people were all Mexican. So it's like where so many fights could have been, never were. Where a stigma in a line was, there never was. We didn't have that problem. It was blood, cuz, crip, whatever it was. We were people of your word. You stood by it. Or you died by it, the words you used. And life used to be that serious in the 80s. Now I look at the people, and now I look at life, and now I look at the streets, and it's not that it's not the same because it's not supposed to be, but they want to be us, and they can't be. We went through those struggles so that they wouldn't have to. That was just the time and the era. Gangs and crack came. There was nothing to be said about that but horror. America has never recovered, actually, to be truthful. It's been dependent since. It's been what a crutch. But that's no question of what is what. When in doubt, it looks now as people, they don't figure it out. It's like they just smoke it out or they drink it out instead of speaking it out, and resolving the problem. Every problem's got a solution, I believe. So.
You brought up the drugs, the crack,
Mm-hmm.
gangs, the war,
Yeah.
poverty in the streets, and you made a comment
It's
to me
deep.
the other day that I really thought about. It was guy 50-something years old just got out of prison.
Mm-hmm.
He stacked some G's. He had 14 grand.
Okay.
And you made a comment of what his plan was.
Mm-hmm.
If you ever
And I mean,
like that.
yeah, the thing is I don't ever want to bash a street guy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't ever want to discredit a street guy for what he does. I don't ever want to say that whether it's a red rag, blue rag, blood cuz, or whatever it was that he gets into, that he's wrong for it. It's just, I look at, where did you miss the guys that made it out of the hood? Where did you miss the guys that took the paper that they stacked up and did something with it besides another pack up, besides another re-up? Besides to go back on the same block and beat the same corner, sooner or later that corner's going to turn on you. There ain't no street love. There ain't no love in the street. It's never been that. Love's from above. So the corner's going to turn on you because it wants somebody else anyways. You're old news. You wasted. Your time's done there. So the more times you keep going in and playing with death and you keep going and playing tag with Satan, it's going to tag that ass. And, then it's not a 4-month. Then it's not a 6-month. It's not a 18-month bit. It's a 5-year stretch or more. Because the war on drugs is ever getting bigger. But the catch with the drugs, you got to not bust the drug dealer. You got to watch the smoker. You got to go after the users. You can't go after the people that are supplying. They're catching phone calls. These guys are answering phone calls. Orders don't come from nowhere. So you got to watch the users. Why are these people using, though? They're missing something. There's a void. So where people say there's not, I saw a void filled. Where I wasn't a drug-dependent man anyways. I was a hustle-dependent man. I was a man that I had to help someone. I had to be helping someone. I had to be hustling and moving and have a product that was moving with me. Or I was doing nothing. And I didn't believe in it. I believed in we all had to hustle. We all had to do something. Like ants, they never stop. They're continuous, constant, all night, all day. I look at mankind like that because that's mankind. If you've ever been in New York, look at time. You know, the square, it's L7 in there, isn't it? You can't, you got to fight to get 10 seconds. You almost got to knock a guy out and put him in a car. Drive his ass around the corner.
So
Kidnap him.
What is your mission? What is your job? What is your,
The
how do you make
J.O.B.
it? Because we live here on Earth, and
Yeah.
of course, everything is financial. You know, you have to pay dollars. You have to trade your hours for dollars to put a roof over your head. You know, how can you just live without those dollars?
Who are you working for?
What's your job?
And it's for me,
What's your mission?
my job, and it comes on from my job. My job's by God. My job is to give the message I'm given. You know, is where I would come in and then say, I am Michael. You know, there is no other as me. There is no other Mike B. There is no Michael other Lee. It's I am Michael. Just as much as he will speak and he'll do as and he'll say as he wills. It's his will and thy will that's done upon me to do and to speak to everybody. So that is my job. That I'm constantly, consistently looking to reach out and help and uplift. So that's my job. As far as a job, every man should have a job. The catch is I just never knew it was so expensive to live on earth. That's the catch I'd look at. When did it become that I got to make $60,000 a year, $30,000, $15,000, $10,000 a year to live off the land? When? What time frame? Show me one. I'd be show them, they'd say, and ought to be. You know, it'd be ashamed of yourself and knock that off. Because now for the last 3 years, I quit hustling so hard and start listening to God, and I've been surviving off almost zero. And not lend and loan, but odd and end job. You know, when you look at trading dollars for hours versus giving good labor and working your way up a ladder, that's a different story. We started at $5 an hour working at Davidson's Trucking to go to $8.50 an hour at Davidson's Trucking. And it just goes to show that a man that is used to a pen can also pick up a shovel. A man that's used to putting plans together and portfolios is also good with a forklift and loading and unloading trailers, semi-trailers. It just goes to show that when the will of God is with you, you can do anything. As long as you can see it, you can be it. If you can be it, you can believe it. If you believe it, you can achieve it. It's just mathematics of life. It's something that's been passed down generation per generation per generation per generation. It's just, though, man looks to not pay attention to it anymore. So for me personally, I don't think that it takes what people think it takes to survive as far as living off the land. Living off the land, I always thought was free. You're living off the land. The land was given to man, if I wasn't mistaken. I'll look over to Greg.
Greed.
I mean, we can go with greed. We can go with jealousy. Let's go with jealousy real quick. Where are we at? 47 on 48. Good. We'll go with the minutes on this. We'll go with jealousy, and we'll go with envy, where everybody says that the root of evil is money. Let's be real, and let's get funny. Let's start laughing, and let's start talking, honey. Because how can something that didn't exist be the root of something that's existed before all of it? Before the fall of all of it, you're going to tell me that it was money that evolved it? Money that made it move? Money that made a heartbeat move? Money that made anybody groove? Money? It's impossible.
It was envy.
It's always been jealousy and envy.
Always.
Who's better than who? Who loves who more than who? This whole war's been over love. And Horton did hear who, because I heard him too. And I listened, and I paid attention, and I wrote, and he scripted. And as he scripted, I read it. And every time I read it, I read it. And when I read it, I said it. When I said it, we did it. And in the end of it, it all became to be good. Why? Because the intention, the concept, the want, the will, that was good. The start. Everybody forgets about the start. And then everybody wants to fail to pay attention to the finish. Everybody wants to start something, not finish it. Start something, not finish it. Start something, not finish it. You never see the end. You never see the conclusion. You never come to one. Where I'll never judge anyone for anything. We all have our own to fight. The catch is if you're a man or woman, you got the same nemesis, and it's not each other. That's dope. That was good. Dope. We about ready to.
Right at 9 and something minutes, so I'll adjust again. You guys take a breather.
Good.
Yeah. But we do. We all got the same. We're supposed to be fighting the same. What are we talking about? It's like, get people on their game, man.
We don't need another hero.
You want to adjust?
Exactly.
Let's reiterate and go back to tomorrow's promise.
Okay.
So what is the promise for tomorrow? Because today's ending. This is the end of
I'm
our...
not recording, you know that, right?
Right.
Yeah, please.
This will be the end of our
Yeah.
session.
Okay.
And go back on where you talked of tomorrow's promise.
Hold
What's
on.
God's plan?
Got you. Give me a second on that. Because, see, I'm big on the word promise and not promising.
Fear not tomorrow, God is already there.
Exactly.
Kind of end it with a clip and...
Okay.
We're still not.
You got to shoot it. You tell me when we're on, but you got to shoot the question. Otherwise, it'll look odd. I'll be answering something I knew.
Say when we're hot.
I always do.
Because you hot, G.
You're always hot, baby.
You hot. You hot, man. He's so hot.
So hot.
He's so hot. He's so hot, I'm cold over here.
Hi.
I'm just saying.
Hi.
Mm.
I just hate myself.
Mm.
Hi.
Love us, love myself, love everybody. Gotta love.
We're hot.
Tomorrow's promise. Wrapping up our session. Let's end it with tomorrow's promise.
Tomorrow's promise.
What does God give us? What is your take on fear not tomorrow?
Fear today. And,
God is already there.
And fear what you don't do today. Fear what you put off to tomorrow. Because it's not promised. Tomorrow is an achievement. Tomorrow is for people that want tomorrow. Tomorrow is for people that are looking for tomorrow. Tomorrow is for people that look to achieve in anything that it is that they can achieve in for tomorrow. Like tomorrow for me, I don't believe in tomorrow for people that don't want tomorrow. You don't want tomorrow, so what are you looking for? You know, there's a lot of people that don't want tomorrow, Amanda. There's a lot of people that don't want today. They didn't do anything today. They wasted it. They took it for granted. They cared not for themselves, for anyone else. There's a lot of people like that, and those are the people I'm speaking to. Those are the people I want to wake up, because there is a tomorrow for you. Because there was a today for me. This happened today with G. This happened today by JC. This happened today with Amanda, to where people can, I pray, wake up. That's my tomorrow. My tomorrow is the day where people wake up and they realize where they're at. Heaven on earth if they want it. Or hell eternal, they can have it. But there won't be a separate. There will not be two hells. There will not be. It's where we're not knock-kneed. We're not going to walk away, and we're not going to walk around pigeon-toed. We're not going to walk around on eggshells. We're not the chicken. We don't eat pork, and we don't want beef, but we ain't seen it in a while either. So it's just to say, I'm not here to shed blood anymore. No more is my war by bloodshed. Now our war is by wit, by word, by will, and that's by God's. So that'll be our mission statement for everyone. You all have a job. If you're not employed, go see our master. Go see our creator. The best way to get there is through our Savior. Your needs. That's where you're going to meet and achieve all your needs. You're going to get them from your knees. Anything that you want, that's where you need to get it from. Because there's no one else on this earth that's to control you, tame you, make you. No one else did that. But I know the same one that made you will break you. It's a guarantee. It's like Rocky and Dolph Lundgren. You know, how did he do it? By will. He had the will of it. He had the eye of it. He saw it. No one could beat him. And that's how stars are born. And that's how people achieve. They don't quit. And if they give up, it's only to G. And when they turn up to G. Because at the end of the night, when they turn down, that's what they do before they lay down. Thank you, Father, for this day. Thank you, Jesus, for being saved. And thank you for all the people that I learned from today. Because you should be learning by every second. No one's to know it all. Father knows all. Father knows best. Everybody falls short. And everybody falls next to the Son who says to the right. Thank everybody, and God bless. Stay guided and have a good night.
Nice. What do you want to be when you grow up?
What do I want to be when I grow up? I want to be elder. I want to be old. I'd like to grow old, and I'd like to grow old speaking to people about.
Wise man.
It'd be dope. It'd be nice because I didn't see thinking 20. Nobody in my younger thought 16. Nobody saw 14. People didn't see 10. People didn't see 7. People didn't see 5 like for me. 34, like I'm blessed. I'm humble. I'm thankful. Like too many streets, too many street dreams, too many dead people in my cars, too many dead bodies on me. Like if I took my shirt off, I scare people. Like
Me too, but for different reasons.
just because you're sexy. I can't take it. You know, and that's the thing. It's the conversation so that everybody knows. It's the familiarity. It's the comfort. that brings out that spirit that's the best in you. It brings out and opens up that light in you. It takes comfort. It takes also wit. It takes also intelligence. It takes also them being good human beings. You know, no one's going to want to talk to a person that doesn't want to be spoken to. No one's going to want to love you when you don't want to be loved. You know, you can't keep someone that doesn't want to be kept. And I just think that that's...
Rude.
Did you yawn?
She just yawned in the middle of your.
I'm
In the
sorry.
middle. She was the air.
No,
She had to get the
I
air.
apologize.
No.
You're fine.
This has been 55 minutes. Cinco.
Heck yeah.
That's
Cinco.
It's the birthday, you know. Got to,
That's your
yeah.
number.
It is. Cinco
We good?
seis. I
That
think
was
we're
awesome.
good. You know.
Awesome. Love you, Mike.
Love you.
Love you.
Awesome. Thank you. And definitely it's SSG and the Mag Group in the house. Yeah.
We need a theme song next.
At the,